right, everybody, we are back again. Tugi here, joined alongside Mr. Sin for the win. And Sin, we are just about ready to go for our second matchup of this broadcast. And it's a big one for Frölunda taking on Goons. I'm very excited to see how this one plays out, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Goons got off to a real hot start. They've fallen a bit further down in the standings, but still right there in the mix as well. And for London, 12-2-2 here. Again, I think that this time around, they were our last undefeated team, but that didn't last too long as well as they picked up a couple losses here and there. And actually just, dropped the game in overtime to conquer gaming. One of those teams really kind of shocking us here. So this is a big matchup for really both of these teams, but maybe a bit more so for Goons here as they are, really trying to stay in the hunt. And this is a tough matchup for them. But again, one of those matchups where you need to get some points out of if you want to be considered one of those serious contenders.
Well, Sin, you mentioned the most recent results, and we'll take a look around the league at the most recent results. Of course, Frölunda with those games yesterday, as you mentioned, against Conquer Gaming. And it was Frölunda walking away with 3 out of 4 points, but indeed Conquer with that big overtime victory there. And when talking about Goons, we do not have their most recent result there, but thankfully, through the power of Sports Gamer, it's not that difficult to find out just who exactly they played recently, and that would have been Conquer Gaming as well, where Goons pulled off the double, winning by a combined 7-2 over the course of those two games. So it just goes to show that Conquer can be a thorn in the side to some of those teams with, great ambition, I would say is the best way to phrase it. But we'll get you a look at the standings as things are right now before heading in to this particular matchup. And again, it is Frölunda entering play in second place in this division. Of course, though, Sin, we know a team like Havu, that unreported second game, they're currently on 23 points and will be sitting in third place temporarily, which means it is Goons in that 8th seed for now. And Sin, as we've talked about, I mean, if Havu's in third with 23 points and you have teams that are on the outside looking in with 19, 18, 17, even, Goons, of course, Roots with 16 points through 14 games now, they're not out of the hunt either. This is perhaps as competitive as a playoff situation as we've seen in our time here.
No, absolutely, and it's down the stretch here as well. Like again, we're approaching the 2/3 mark of the season for a lot of these teams, and kind of crazy how it's been shaping out. And yeah, I mean, some teams with games in hands when it comes to Roots, other teams, right in the mix. Edinburgh has a couple games in hand, so they're looking good. But again, you gotta have to capitalize on the opportunity presented to you. And yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, it's so competitive down the stretch. Anywhere from, yeah, really, as you said, that 3 spot all the way down to the 13th spot. I mean, that's a large. I think a couple seasons ago we're like, yeah, there's about 6 teams really kind of right in neck and neck. Then it came, maybe it's about 8 teams, and now it's 10 teams that are essentially neck in neck in these standings here. And I mean, a lot can change. The ground can shift very, very quickly here.
With that, let's get you all a look at the team stats for this particular matchup. Again, Frölunda taking on Goons. Both teams 39 goals up to this stage of the season, but that drastic difference in terms of the goals against in favor of Frölunda. We will see if their defense is able to withstand such a high-scoring offense from Goons as we take a look at the lineups as well for this matchup here. Again, the action coming at you here in just a few moments. For Frölunda, playmaker Eki and Flyer Kung in the front three, with Potsoff and Loimo on defense and Kape in goal. For Goons, Pico Roger, the former Rookie of the Year, next to Keskitalo and Leitinen. You have Kruketsi and Wenger on defense, with Saprix between the pipes. And Sim, we start off with that center comparison, Eki and Keskitalo. Impressive numbers for both, but I still say just 19 points in 16 games for Eki is very, very surprising.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's always kind of a bit of adjustment moving positions as Eki now finds himself playing center. Something that we kind of speculated he may may benefit from, but again, yeah, hasn't quite found the exact same scoring touch, but he's been great on the faceoffs as well. But yeah, it's not often we see Eki being outscored by his opposite, and here we see it. And now from Kesketal, 21 points, two more than Eki has in the same amount of games played here. So we'll see who has the advantage in this matchup. But the clear winner in the faceoffs, at least on paper, is Eki.
The winger comp is next. Again, Playmaker and Flyer Kungen, Pika Roger, and Leitinen. What a start for Leitinen this season. Talk about someone who might not have gotten the respect or proper attention due for his strong start this season, Sin, as he is, if I'm not mistaken, potentially leading all skaters in points at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I think you're right. He leads his team in goals. He's leads his team and is tied for third amongst all skaters in assists. And I think you are right. If all the information in front of us is correct, he is leading the ECL Elite in points right now with 33 in those 16 games played. So very impressive from him. And Goons looking like a real threat here.
Absolutely. Of course, our defensive comp, Potzloff, Loimu, Kirketsi, and Wenger, the big story of this season for Goons. Kirketsi dropping back to the defensive side of things doesn't mean that he has stopped in his attempts to send as many players to the infirmary as he possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely. We were kind of talking about that in the last matchup, how he and Voti were very physical, and even though Kirketsi is no longer playing forward, has also shifted through defense. I mean, 132 hits still. The wrecking ball style of Kirketsi has simply not stopped here. Is now on the point. He's standing guys up, and perhaps that's creating some a bit of a counterattack possibility for his team. But that if you do miss contact, it can create some odd man situations to your opponent as well. Which Goons kind of always been known for more of a high flying style, which is why their goals against is a little bit higher there than Frölunda's.
Our goalie comp to cap things off, Kape and Supreek. Sin, simply put, Kape living up to his reputation. Supreek's not quite where he'd want to be so far this season through 8 appearances.
Yeah, and maybe a bit curious for us as we've seen Supreeks in other roles, and he's really been a guy who we always thought I think for a while he may have been on Northern Ascendancy, and he was really honestly at times standing on his head for that team. So a bit surprising to see his save percentage where it's at right now. But plenty of time to work its way back. But this is definitely not the easiest matchup to boost your save percentage against Frölunda, who is so good on the offensive side of things and very surgical in the way they strike.
So with that, we are just a few moments away from puck drop, game number 1 of 2 between Frölunda and Goons. Again, this matchup here today, as we've stated, Sin, all broadcast long, very important for both of these teams, really for all 4 of the teams that we have covered here. But I'd say especially for Goons, Frölunda enter play in this matchup 12-2-2 on the season. It would take an absolutely historic run of poor form for Frölunda to not be a playoff team. Whereas you have Goons coming off of, I think, what could rightfully be viewed as a very disappointing season for them across the board. I think everyone kind of acknowledges that. This was a club that when they first made it to the Elite Division were highly praised, highly touted, very high expectations placed upon them. And the question was, heading into the season, maybe that's dropped a little bit. Maybe that hype level surrounding them and the expectations have dropped a little bit. And they're certainly out there to prove that the hype was warranted. And I mean, a 9-5-2 start to the season, certainly not that bad. But with how competitive this division is this season, you can't afford to slip up.
Yeah, you got to have something that kind of sets you apart. And you mentioned when they first came into the ECL Elite and how highly touted it was. It instantly earned it. I think they were the 4 or 5 seed that season. Season after that, the 8 seed. They just kind of squeaked into the playoffs. They gave H-Reds a run for their money, taking 3 out of the 4 games to overtime, losing all the games, but looked like, I'm like, man, if they're sticking around with H-Reds like that, what are they going to do in this coming season? So yes, and yeah, like you said, 9-5-2, not bad, but perhaps not exactly where they want to be, constantly improving. They're still trying to find their footing and kind of where they are going to find themselves in the standings here. And if they're able to kind of take on a team like Frölunda here and perhaps take a point or two, I would say if they took 2 points off them, they would definitely be helping their cause a lot more, but it's a tough matchup nonetheless.
So again, you see the teams there, the builds, what we have come to expect as well. What you should have come to expect. us talking about the Wilhelm e-Hockey Tour. Of course, sportsgamer.gg has all the information that you need. Again, events essentially every weekend throughout Finland. Again, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need. And again, there is one of their mighty fine upcoming events that, boy, wouldn't it be great for Sin and I to get to one of those. We'll show you how some American players manage to dangle on the streets. Be ripping shots top shelf. Show you what's up. As well, of course, for Wilhelm. You want to talk about ripping shots top shelf and showing us what's up. You can show us your best moments from NHL 22, either the best or worst. And make sure, of course, as you do so on Twitter and Instagram, use the hashtag eHockeyMoments, and you have an opportunity to walk away with some IQ fuel. We are giving away winners every week until the end of June. Again, that is hashtag eHockeyMoments on Twitter and Instagram. As Sin, we are ready to go. The teams on the ice, Frölunda in their road whites, Goons in the home black and red, as we'll see just how this starts off here. These two teams, of course, can be very strong defensively, but at the same time, you never know if they'll break out that top-notch offense and be able to find that early breakthrough.
That's definitely something that we're going to be looking for here. How does Goons offense stack up against the defense of Frölunda? And, can Frölunda continue their good run of form here without sacrificing that defense? And, they believe they can, but we'll see here.
Good block down on the one-timer attempt from Potzloff. And was the long-time center of this team until that man, Flyer Coogan, joined up. He nearly scores on the wraparound. Good hit there. Now Loimu for Frölunda. One-timer and a good save by Sapreeks. Potzloff showing he's not afraid to let those shots go.
Yeah, and good kind of bit of pressure so far from Frölunda here. Putting some shots on Sapreeks, trying to test him out, test the angles, and, test him from distance as well. All important things that Frölunda kind of want to figure out here early on.
So this one around the back and all the way back to the neutral zone. Frölunda looking to get right back in on the attack. This one goes down and is recovered by Playmaker. Shot from Loimu, and what a shot it is off the post. And into the back of the net. Frölunda strike first. Loimu's second of the season, and what a beauty it was, Sin.
Just a beautiful shot right there. The pass all the way back to him, and he just rips a wrister off the post and in. And early start from Frölunda. Great job.
So the early goal here for Frölunda. Goon's going to look to get it right back. Pico Roger. Couldn't find the man on the end of that pass, and it is Frölunda right back in on the attack. Flyer Kungan down low, still fighting for it. It finds its way to Sapreeks, who was able to cover. We'll have an attacking zone face-off here for Frölunda following that goal from Loimu in just a few moments ago. The draw now, Potzloff in control. And Frölunda getting that cycle off quite easily. Loimu fakes the shot. He right back to him. Loimu throws one on. Good job by Sapreeks. Sends that one off to the side. Playmaker now. Has it again, down low in the corner. Around the back of the net, trying to hold on to it through the double team. Loimu keeps this one in at the point. Eki wanted to go back. He just missed Flyer Kungan, who's hounding Leitinen as he tries to get rid of it. Roger, it's Leitinen. That shot just wide on the blocker side. And from the league's leading scorer, so obviously wearing his team's golden helmet as team leading scorer. See Playmaker on the other side for Frölunda. Put that on her. Eki, the wraparound, goes out to the far side. Frölunda trying to get right back in on the attack. It's been a great amount of pressure from them here, controlling the pace of play in this first period. Playmaker for Flyer Kungan. Good low shot. Defense does well to help Sapreeks handle the rebound. Pass across. Eki there to break it up. Great work. Playmaker has it now. Good defense to offense here. Good job by Goons to break it up as we have just 3.5 minutes to play here in this first period.
So far, so good for Frölunda, really limiting the counterattack options of Goons while still able to get a lot of a lot of offense themselves, as we've seen. And they're back in possession now, looking for another chance. This long pass on the sauce right there, but they're unable to get the puck back.
Pass across, broken up by the defense. Fire Kungan sends one up the boards. Playmaker will win the race. Cut back, backhand off the post. Time for one more chance for either side. Wenger for Leitinen. Pika Roger, what a save by Kape! Drops down and snags it with the glove. Sin, we have seen him make so many gigantic saves, highlight reel saves in our time here covering the ECL. That is one of the finer ones we've ever seen. A gigantic stop by Kape.
Absolutely unreal save right there. I thought for sure that was a goal. Piku Roger in one-on-one. He got by the defense. Both Potsdam and Loimu were beat. It was a good pass from Lightning to give him that tiny bit of space. He went to the backhand. Kape went down and was actually sliding the opposite direction somehow. Somehow he got the glove on that and then actually played it out to kill the rest of the period as well. Just an insane save from Kape, and just you see how valuable he is to this team. It remains a 1-0 goal because of that save.
An incredible stop by Kape, the most how do you describe Kape and his accomplishments under the ECL umbrella at this stage? I mean, I guess you could say the most accomplished netminder in this division, in this league, but continuing to surprise, continuing to be the top of his game. I call him the Carey Price of the ECL, but he's been at the top of his game for longer than Carey managed to be. Had to get that shot in there against him. That one was for you, Kape, if you watch this one back.
Oh, he will. He may even have it on the background. I know sometimes he's told me he's done that. So, he's gonna show you what's up with a couple other good saves, I think, in this one.
Yeah, sorry to Goons for keeping him motivated, boys. My bad. I'll take the blame if this one goes poorly. It is Goons back in control here again. Piku Roger, former Rookie of the Year. Kirketsi gets it down low. He's another one, Sin, as you alluded towards, moving back to the defensive side of things. So it was Keskatalo stepping back into the forward lineup, and Flyer Kungan stepping back a bit too far. He's tripped and dropped to the ice.
Yeah, Wenger right there just trying to be, trying to play with a stick right there, trying to force the issue behind the net, but it's such a beautiful bit of skating right there that a single poke just ended up being a bad decision, unfortunately, for Goons and Frölunda to the power play now, who haven't been fantastic on it so far this season, but chance nonetheless.
Block, second chance, and there it is. Eki finding the back of the net on the power play. 2-0 now for Frölunda.
Yeah, and assists coming from Flyer Kungan and Potsloff there is really just a good job of getting that puck back, and I think it looked like it was passed over after the shot and hit a body in front, then kind of passed over to Eki right there. Made no mistake, picked that top corner there, and Frölunda, as quickly as they got that power play or off the power play because they scored a goal. 2-0 for them here. They continue their great performance in this one against Goons in the second period.
Eki's 8th of the season. We've had a tendency to be surprised by certain stat lines at a stage. Great opportunity there. Eki denied. On a couple of occasions, and I've pointed out, like, oh man, that stat line, not quite what you expect from that guy. And then they just happen to go off. I think of Miloplika. I think that was last week, who had a hat trick in the immediate aftermath of that. So we have commentators' curses in different ways, I've discovered. I apparently enable players to go off to make me look as dumb as possible. And if you even start to think the word penalty, somebody gets called.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Gifted in our own way.
yeah, exactly. No one said that we were gifted, but yeah, in our own way, we are.
Hey, we'll take what we can get, all right? As Wenger's shot is blocked, and that one goes all the way back down. So we approach the halfway point of this second period. And GOONS still looking for their opening goal of this contest. Keskitalo's pass intercepted. Frölunda going back down the other way. Off a long, good play there by Wenger, and now it's GOONS again on the rush. While on the other side, this is more of what we were perhaps expecting out of the gates. The team so strong at shutting down the opposition before they can get a clean zone entry. Pico Roger back to the point. Kriketsi shot good. Kick saved by Kape. Second chance doesn't go. Just wide on that far side.
Yeah, I think I heard a little ting. Looked like it clipped the post right there. So Lightning, frustration, got to be mounting, but what a shot from the point.
It's Kriketsi, and just like that, GOONS are on the board. A phenomenal shot. That's the only way to put it. It had the power, and it had the accuracy.
And it found the back of the net. Kriketsi there, nice little D-to-D pass. He blasts that one home, beating the glove side of Kape there and cutting that deficit in half right there, almost seemingly coming out of nowhere. You know, GOONS hasn't been going for those point shots too often there. A lot more down low opportunities, some rush opportunities as well. And, well, it's just been hard for them to gain that line against the Frölunda defense. But when they do, they look good and able to score on that one.
Double it up. Pico Roger for Keskitalo. Defended well, but there's playmaker down the other way. That pass off the pad of Sapriks, just out of the reach of Flyer Kungen. 5 minutes to go now in the second period. GOONS back to within one. Keep an eye on that clock. Certainly going to be looking to tie this one up before the end of the period. Interception by Lightning, gets it to Pico Roger. His shot handled well. Kape had a little bit of difficulty with it at the end, though.
Yeah, finding its way towards his legs, able to reach back and get that cover on it. Yeah, a bit of a awkward bounce for him, but GOONS doing their best now to push back. They've got that one goal towards the end of the second. If they were somehow able to tie this, that'd be a huge boost of momentum heading into the third.
Okay, puck up for grabs here. Playmaker off the stretch. Has a bit of space. Flyer Kungen with them, and I think he lost it off of the spin. That little bit of contact and a pretty good chance not capitalized on for Frölunda.
Yeah, it looked like initially maybe he was going to do a spin pass, but then it was the commitment from Kriketsi, I think it was, to cover the pass. So Playmaker then maybe thinking he was going to go for the shot, but it was the back check that you said, just a little bit of contact there, knocked that puck off his stick, and they're not able to get a chance off of that opportunity.
GOONS in control here as we approach the last bit of this period. They have the most recent goal, looking for another one. Eki not able to hold on to it. An attempt there as well from Lightning. He does get it back, but a good play by Potzloff. 5 seconds, loose puck. Back in control for Pico Roger. He shoots one wide, and that will do it. So a 2-1 lead for Frölunda heading into the third, thanks to this goal from Kriketsi that gets GOONS back to within striking distance.
Yeah, it's just a nice little play, just a D-to-D one-timer there. Pass back after the collapse came out from Frölunda. GOONS did the right thing, trying to stretch the game out back to the point, and they sent it across and couldn't quite get in the shooting lane. And Kriketsi just blasts that one home, top corner, glove side. Not a whole heck of a lot that Kape could have done on that as he had already adjusted back to the middle of the ice. And we saw, a bit of pushback from Frölunda at the end. They weren't able to quite get a chance on it, but still in good position. They still have a 1-goal lead headed into the third, and definitely a difficult team to take, a lead away from. But if you're GOONS, you have a potent offense as well. Definitely a chance for you to get back into this. It's just a matter of, can you get, the volume of chances that you need, or the quality of chances that you need against a team, which is, obviously a great defensive team as well as they are on the offensive side of the pucks. Both these teams, are tied for the second most goals for per game. But on the, in the goals against category, Frölunda, the second least. in the ECL Elite, and unfortunately for Goons, they actually are the 7th most. So kind of a tale of two halves when it comes to that. But so far, so good. Goons have only allowed 2 in this one, and they're playing, a tight game.
Period underway. Again, ECL Elite Division action brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Koval Lakritzy, and ST Hockey. So we have Frölunda leading Goons by the score of 2-1, and apologies for any technical difficulty here. We sort it out as Goons into the attacking zone. Venger's shot, good save again by Kape. The biggest reason as to why this game is still tied. Again, had that huge save at the end of the first period on Pico Roger. Has the puck now, lightning across, what a feed and what a goal! Cascatalo ties it for Goons. It's 2-2.
Wow, what a rush play coming out from Goons right there. Just such a quick strike, quick passing. Leitinen, insane reaction time on that to get it across all the way to Cascatalo, who had the angle on. I believe it would have been Loimu over there, the Frölunda defenseman. He's able to just knock that puck home against Kape, who hadn't even really slid to the right-hand side because no one could have thought that puck would be able to slide its way over there. Lightning with a tremendous pass, and this game is all tied up at 2.
So from 2-0 down to being tied on the scoreboard here. A statement comeback from Goons. We saw something similar in our first matchup of the day. It was Havu, though, able to hold on and get that next goal to win it. We will see if indeed Frölunda can do the same thing, or if Goons will pull off this particular comeback. Frölunda in possession here off the draw. See what they can do now going down the other way. Going to cut back and take their time on this breakout. Playmaker gains the line, puck knocked loose. And handled well there, Goons. Get something going. Lightning's pass rocketed into the attacking zone. Only Pico Roger giving chase. Goons still very wary of those quick counterattacks from Frölunda. Particularly Playmaker, who always seems to find that bit of space. Out by Eki there. He drops it back. Copper kicks that one away. Swing and a miss there by Potzloff. So we at the halfway point of this period. Playmaker again, nowhere to go. The step up. Loimu just out of his reach. Could open up the door there for Goons on the counterattack, but again, Frölunda slam it shut as quickly as it looked to have been an opportunity.
Yeah, and if Eki playing as center, it's given a lot more opportunities to play defense. We know he's one of the better defensive players in the ECL, despite having played winger for so long.
And again, goes to the away side. He's not able to do anything though on that counterattack. The dump and chase returns. Frölunda into the attacking zone. Playmaker fighting for it. Good defense by Wenger. Held in. Nowhere for Eki to go. He gets it back, though. He loses it off the side of the net with Kriketzi there. Wenger. Risky pass. Works out. Pico Roger sends that one around. Puck back to Kape's right. Fast pace to this third period. Now just 5 minutes to go. Goons have battled back, though. Again, they were trailing 2-0. In the 2-all game. Frölunda entering play today in second. 16 teams, of course. Goons in sixth. A lot of competition for playoff spots this year as well. Every point matters. Wenger takes the hit from Playmaker. He holds on to it. Fire Kungan joining in, and a great job by Wenger to not lose it. Pico Roger has it knocked loose at the blue line. Goons back in control. And Lightning will wait it out. Set up for the set play. Get a bit of stamina regeneration in there as well. Here's Lightning, head of steam. Good fake move. Roger back for Kaketsi. One-timer from Wenger, deflected off a playmaker. Still held in. Leitinen back to the point. One-timer scores! Cascatello deflects it in front. Goons have come back from 2-0 down. It's 3-2 with just 52 seconds to play.
Wow, what a comeback from Goons, and that's called capitalizing on your chances, utilizing those point shots. And again, this kind of seems to be that Goons level of gameplay that they have. They step it up when they play some of these top teams. We see it against Atrans, we're seeing it now against Frölunda, and Frölunda on the back foot here, needing to tie this game up with less than a minute left just to get a point out of this first game.
Final few moments here, and it's Goons right back in on the attack. Gonna look to wind down the clock here. Maybe catch Frölunda napping for an extra goal. Potzloff has to hand off to Flyer Kungen on the off wing. He sends it down. Both defensemen pinching in. Kaketsi comes up with it. His pass off the mark. It'll go all the way down. No icing on the call. And now Frölunda with just 20 seconds to go. Gonna feel hard pressed by that one. Pika Roger trying to hold on to it. Kaketsi for Cascatello, and again Goons clear with 6 seconds to go. A 2-0 lead for Frölunda. Not enough. Goons will win it 3-2 in regulation.
And that was a heartbreaker for Frölunda, but what a comeback for Goons. They just never quit on that one, and still kind of curious as that ring around wasn't classified as icing. I think Frölunda, that took them off guard. You saw a lot of people on the top of your screen stop skating to gain their stamina back in preparation for, well, what they expected was going to be an offensive zone draw. It didn't come, and they tried to get that rush play going. They simply couldn't set it up cleanly to get a chance on net, and Goons with a comeback win that really shocks us here in the booth. It probably shocks chat, and definitely would have shocked Frölunda in that matchup.
The poll before the game, 84% of people siding with Frölunda to get the victory, and you can't blame them. A rough loss for them, and it's happened a couple of times now this season. Their 5th loss on the year as Goons walk away with all 2 points, and importantly, they do so in regulation for arguably their biggest win of the season. That's, again, just a shocking result. What an effort by Cascatello in that third period to help make that happen. But, you know, Sin, we look back to prior seasons with Frölunda, trying to remember the last time they would have lost 5 games in a season. At least if they did, never seemed to be this early. I mean, they lost 8 last year in the full 30, but it's still just very surprising to be like, okay, that's, you know, you're not even 2/3 of the way through the season, and you're already kind of on a, you know, a more downward pace in a sense. Not necessarily, okay, downward, not the right run of form here, not the right word choice, but it's just surprising that they've, you know, they got caught by Conquer in their last series, and now they still have a second game to play, but fresh off of a loss to Goons as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of nuts, but this really opens a door here, I think. When Goons win this game in regulation, denying Frölunda a couple points, handing them, you know, a regulation loss, gaining 2 points of their own. The more points you deny for Frölunda, the more it opens up that second seed for some of these other teams to kind of maybe find their way up here. But when you think about this game, I mean, Goons, we saw a bit earlier, that shot from the first goal from Kaketsi actually bounced off of Eki a little bit in the slot and then went into the corner of the net. Then you saw right there the deflection goal from Goons as well. So, I mean, when they threw the puck on the net, maybe got favor of some bounces, but the thing is, they threw that puck on the net. They had a kind of a game plan. They knew how they were going to try to capitalize. When that wasn't there, they went back to some basics of, you know, pucks and bodies to the net, and it really seemed to work. And you think back, I mean, Lightning hit the post. Piku Roger was robbed by Kape. You could argue that they got the better of the scoring chances in that game, despite, you know, being down by 2. And, well, roaring back to win 3-2. Just a very impressive performance by Goons, and maybe a stunned Frölunda squad after that game.
I think back to just 2 seasons ago, Frölunda 28-0-2 in a 30-game regular season. Not so much this year. Again, they lose for already the 5th time in this still relatively young season. We're over the midway point for the majority of teams. They do have a second game here coming up against Goons to try and get things back on track, and we will be back with that in just a few moments after a brief word from our sponsors, so don't go. All right, everybody, we are back. Again, a big thank you to Wilhelm Kovalnakrati and ST Hockey. Sin, a gigantic result there for Goons. I don't think that can be understated for them. Their 10th win in 17 matches. And it really sets the tone now for this next game that maybe you can have the opinion of, okay, we're playing with house money at this point. Pressure's on kind of Frölunda, who have that expectation that they set on themselves as we want to be the ones to compete with H-Reds. All the pressure in the world right now is on their shoulders to make sure
Yeah.
that they get victories over teams like Goons to be able to push H-Reds for that top spot. But now you're talking about, same points, 26 points for H-Reds and Frölunda, and H-Reds have 3 games at hand at this stage. It's easier said than done to push the now 2-time defending champions.
Absolutely. And again, this is a team where you might face in the playoffs in Goons, what the way things line up and the way Goons have been playing, if they can, either if the seeding works out that way, if Goons can somehow get out of that, first round, if they get a higher seeding, and and for them to take a game off for Frölunda like that, a come from behind victory too. Like that's the thing. Like they didn't get off to the good start, and Frölunda was having to play pushback and opening the game up. No, Frölunda had a 2-goal lead, and Goons were the ones who were able to come back. That simply doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot against a team like Frölunda with how good they are defensively. So very kind of odd that would have happened in that matchup, but a huge, huge win for Goons nonetheless.
Absolutely. So again, we are not all that long away, Sin, from the next game, the 4th and final game of this broadcast. But again, that doesn't mean the action's stopping for all that long. Sin and I will be back this Sunday, again, as always, the prime time start time of 17:45 CEST as opposed to the 19:45 CEST. So 2 hours earlier than today's broadcast started, of course, as we have 4 more, frankly, gigantic games on the calendar. Yippee Vaskala take on Sawa Esports, and the previously aforementioned H-Reds take on Färjestad. Sin, we have certainly reached that point of the season where every game feels like a big, big deal for all 4 teams involved. Then again, you could argue that's always been the case as you move throughout a season, just because of the fast-paced nature of how these years play out.
Yeah, absolutely. But kind of especially now towards the end of the season where you're really seeing the bracket get set, and that the possibility of you finishing in that playoff spot or finishing in that potential relegation position gets all the more real. So yeah, down the stretch, especially the points get so important here. And that Färjestad H-Reds matchup, that's going to be a big, big one here. I mean, Färjestad really improved their roster over the course of the offseason. Took them a bit longer to figure it out, but could be one of those teams that could at least threaten the tenure of H-Reds as champions.
Absolutely. So again, just a few moments to go before puck drop. A reminder, though, again, we want to see the best and worst that NHL 22 has had to offer you on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to use the hashtag #eHockeyMoments when sharing your clips, and you could be the lucky recipient of some IQ Fuel. We're giving away some IQ Fuel to a winner every week leading up until the end of June. So, of course, make sure to use the hashtag #eHockeyMoments. And a big thank you, of course, to not only IQ Fuel, but Wilhelm as well. Sin, the teams are on the ice. We are ready to go. Game number 2, and of course, the 4th and final game of our broadcast. It is Frölunda in the home red, Goons in the road white, and we'll see what type of response we get from Frölunda in this one again after having a 2-0 lead and letting it slip as Goons come back to win that prior game. Leitinen here again, entering play as the league's leading scorer. Couldn't help but stay on side on that one. We'll have an early stoppage.
Yeah, and this is really going to kind of be a test of the mental state of Frölunda after that. They can't be happy with it, but, they've been around, competing for so long, and it's still got to shock you at some point. So we'll see what adjustments really kind of come from that, and if it's more of a controlled aggression that they'll coming out with, or maybe one more based in desperation. But great turnover.
Flyer Kungen for playmaker. Wanted to go back to him. Flyer Kungen tripped. A delayed call We'll see what Frölunda can do as Kape is out there. They tried to throw that shot on, picked off. So the Frölunda power play will go to work here early on in this game.
Yeah, they were 1 for 1 in the last game here, so very, very good. And Goons, going to the box early here, open up a door to find themselves in a similar position that they were in the last one, which is down. So we'll see if Frölunda are going to be able to capitalize on this opportunity, get that advantage as they did in the last game, but this time do a better job of managing it.
Here we go. Potzloff, playmaker holds. One to go in front for Eki. Great save by Saprix, and another one there as the puck trickles towards goal. And finally, he's able to cover it. Nervous moments to start off this kill.
Yeah, I think it went back to kind of behind the net where Flyer Gungan was, and he just kind of threw a backhand on that Saprix finally stopped and gets the cover on, but a little bit of dangerous pressure down low for Frölunda.
Off the draw. Great clear there by Piku Roger. So Frölunda can do half of their power play. Already expired. Chance and a goal! Playmaker breaks through on the man advantage and make that 2 for 2 in action tonight for the Frölunda power play.
This is something that Playmaker does so well, is streaking down that left wing side with speed, making something appear seemingly out of nothing. He didn't have a ton of space right there, but what he does, he shoots it like just a split second earlier than most people would in that situation. Most people want to cut across the goaltender and shoot. He does it right before he would do that and aims for that far side to kind of take advantage of the space that's there, of the angle that the goaltender is before that goaltender is going to want to begin to even slide over to protect against that possible lateral movement. Excellent job by Playmaker there, and a 1-0 lead for Frölunda.
Right back to where we were in that first game. Frölunda striking first. We're going to get that second goal. Flyer Kung, a burst of speed and denied by Saprix. Unbelievable acceleration as Saprix makes another save. Goons certainly on the back foot here to start this game.
Yeah, perhaps his speed even surprising himself as he did end up colliding with Saprix as he tried to get that shot away, but nonetheless, Frölunda looking good here. They just go offside right there. That would have been Playmaker with another clean zone entry.
Face-off coming up here in the neutral zone. 6 shots to 0, the tally so far in favor of Frölunda. Going in down low for Playmaker, in front Eki, as that pass cut off by Keskitalo. Roger recovering now for Goons, finds Leitinen, loses it in the double team. Flyer going in again. Playmaker, he takes the hit. Got by Goons here on those last few defensive efforts. Finger the big spin, the pass. Keskitalo over and a good save by Kape. Sinya might look to have seen Keskitalo take a shot from that close in.
Yeah, perhaps, but, it still was a kind of a nice play over to Piku Roger, who really had Kape sliding there. You can almost argue it was a bit of fortune for him to get that glove save off as he slid out of the net. But, yeah, you may have liked to seen the shot being taken there by the Goons center. But either way, stays out, and still a 1-0 game.
Over the line here. Flamengo trying to hold on to it, sends it down low. Playmaker awaits. Takes the hit, can't make the play. Eki recovers, maybe a buffer shot there. Playmaker again having trouble. Piku Roger. Leitinen on that forechecking pressure. Frölunda able to get it out. Potzloff, great spin. Playmaker again. One goal in this game so far. Loimu shot, good save by Saprix. Loimu's so good at getting those shots through traffic. On the back with 3.5 to go. Kriketsi for Goons. This back interrupted by Loimu. Playmaker loses it momentarily. Chop to try to keep it alive. Loimu. Chop on the point. Bounces in the air. Playmaker shot and Saprix. Another big save. He's been called upon a lot here in this first period.
Yeah, he really has. As Frölunda keep attacking in waves right here, trying to extend that lead a little bit, looking really good in the offensive zone, able to force turnovers to stop the breakout of Goons here. And as we approach the tail end of this first period, you see the tail of the shots, 9 registered to 1 from Goons.
This one deflects off of the defender and bounces over the top of the glass. We'll have another face-off. Again, Eki against Keskitalo in this battle. Eki, the big face-off advantage heading into this matchup. We hit the final minute of play here in the first period. Frölunda back in on the attack. Flyer Kungen sends it all the way around. Potzloff bailed out. Lucky break there. Playmaker driving, and Saprix covers. That was nearly a 2-on-0 down the other way for Goons.
Yeah, just really a risk that he didn't need to take right there. The cross-ice feed was open to Loimu, who tries to kind of get fancy, go back in low, and we're going to see net empty here, actually. So
impressive setup at the end of the period for Frölunda, but a clean win. Shot towards goal. And it was inaccurate, but Sin, if it was on target,
that would have
been very, very close at the very least.
Yeah, I hope we actually may even get a replay on that. I'm not too sure if we will. They'd have to kind of select it manually from the tail end, but I think you're right. I think that was exceptionally close. May have just gone wide, but the timing, I think, on that would have been right there. What an attempt. I think that would have been from Kirketsi from the back end right there. But that's a great period from Frölunda. 10 shots, 3 minutes time on attack, just the 1 goal. So it could still come down to maybe a bounce. But if they play the rest of the game like this, you got to feel like they get rewarded with some more goals. And Goons got to have some kind of response here in this next period, because just that 1 registered shot is a pretty good chance. But that was really all they had in that period. It was all Frölunda the rest of the time.
Sin, you could argue with just 32 seconds of time on attack that Goons' best chance of that first period was that late empty net Hail Mary.
Yeah, definitely.
But regardless, second period underway. We know they are capable of a comeback. It, again, was a 2-0 lead for Frölunda in game 1. What a bomb of a shot there from Loimu. It was a 2-0 lead for Frölunda. Ended up being a 3-2 victory for Goons. Kirketzi's shot blocked again by the traffic in front. Goons would have already doubled their time on attack, or at least getting close to it. The first period, that one blocked. Great job there by Potzloff. Frölunda now. Flyer Kungen with Eki, and it's swept in. Looked like an own goal to me, Sin, and again a 2-0 lead for Frölunda.
Oh, yeah, and you were right. I actually thought he may have gotten that secondary opportunity off when he was first broken up, but you were right. Yeah, knocked in, but still a goal for Flyer Kungen, and for Frölunda, 2-0 here.
A big moment there. Flyer Kungen's 10th goal of the season, and it's a replay, perhaps, of what we saw in that first game. Good save there by Kape.
Yeah, and here comes the pushback from Goons as well. If they're able to get a quick one to cut this in half, it'll be a much easier road back than it was in the last one. Excellent replay right there. I don't know. I lost track of my thoughts right there. That's just.
It's just, you know, there are some things that aren't worth trying to explain, and you just leave it for what it is and enjoy the moment. Turnover there, nearly generating trouble. Frölunda again able to survive. Now in on the attack. Potzloff a playmaker down low. Nice spot for Potzloff again, the former center. Good bit of forechecking pressure there from Kirketsi. Still has it. Circles back, slap shot deflected off of a defender in front. Good chance. Come on back again in the neutral zone here for Goons. And a trip is called. They go to the power play for the first time in this one. And Sin, you want to talk about an opening to get back into this game?
Yeah, that was good positioning from Loimu right there, but he was just a little bit higher up than he probably would have liked to be. in maintaining his gap. So the stick instead went to the feet. He trips him up, so he'll sit for 2, and we got a Goons power play.
Let's see what happens here now. Big opportunity, Lightning. The rebound was there. 2 people on that one. Picked off the goal line, and it still goes. Goons strike on the power play. An own goal. It evens out, and the lead's back down to 1 for Frölunda.
Just like that. We have not seen a successful penalty kill in this series so far. 3 power plays. 2 for Frölunda, 1 now for Goons, and 3 power play goals. And yeah, Piku Roger will get the credit for that one as he's the last one to touch it. It was a great initial play from Potsdam to kind of pick it off of the line as it's skittering in, but as things are, he also unfortunately puts it in through no real fault of his own. But
blocked there by Loimu after the penalty he took led to the goal, and what a goal there! Flyer Kungen off of a tremendous feed from Playmaker, and Frölunda back up by 2.
They get it right back, not wasting any time. Playmaker Eki getting the assist, just a beautiful feed to the middle, and Flyer Kungen makes no mistake on that one, puts it home on that blocker side, and gets in his canoe and paddles off into the sunset as well. 2-goal lead again regained for Frölunda, but there's still time for Goons to get back into this one, and their offense is deadly.
We continue on. Another twist to the tail here. In the second game, Playmaker and all alone, and a big stop by Saprix. Remember that one as he's having to come up big there with a couple of odd angle saves as well. Again, Playmaker down low. The beast has been awoken, I should say, for Frölunda here in the second period. But thanks in that goal, really kind of getting them back on track and being where they want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. They've looked good throughout this entire game, especially with that dominant first period. Even though they only had the 1 goal, they now have, a 2-goal lead, and they're able to sustain that right now too, and they're still getting a ton of offense, even though the pushback from Goons has been there. Frölunda doing a great job of getting some odd man opportunities and really outnumbering them down low. As you see there on the forecheck turned over.
It's Eki back to the point. They cycle it down low. One-timer. Good kick save again by Saprix. Having to come up big. Potsdam can't get that one out. Lightning across. Good job there. Eki was back to help out. Flyer Kungen. Eki wanted Potsdam at the point. 4 minutes to go now here in the second period. An offside call. Now a 2-goal lead once more for Frölunda.
Yeah, a bit of an opportunity there for Goons gone by the wayside. They did a great job of blocking the shot from Potsloff, and when you step up as a defenseman, that's the biggest kind of worry. The shot gets blocked or the pass doesn't get to you, and you're stuck in that slap wind-up animation, and all of a sudden it's an odd man the other way, and unfortunately for Goons, they don't, not only do they not really able to kind of set it up and capitalize on it, but they actually go offside as well and stop their momentum, and here comes Frölunda.
Playmaker. Now Eki to win it back. Good hit. Scramble for it. Banger handled that one well for Goons, and the attacking zone they go, but for how long is the question? Keskitalo took away by Flyer Kungen. Demo again now for Flyer Kungen. It's Playmaker. Back pressure. Eki shot tapped in! Flyer Kungen on the doorstep, an easy tap in. And Frölunda make it 4-1. Flyer Kungen. Is that a second center, or is that the hat trick? I believe that's the hat trick.
Yeah, that's the hat trick. I believe he had the
own goal.
Yeah, he got credit for the own goal, and then he's had those last 2 as well. The pass from Playmaker, and that time just the rebound, and Flyer Kungen, you said it, just kind of tapped it in. I'm not even sure if he got the shot animation off. He just kind of positionally sitting there, and then it finds on his stick, and just the easiest job from him to guide that one into the back of the net here. And with the second period seconds ticking away here in the second period, Goons unable to get that out, and Frölunda actually looking for one more chance. This is the Frölunda that we expect to see, and well, they've really come out here in game 2.
We'll get a look at the hat trick goal for Flyer Kungen. Again, that front 3 on point here in this second game, and Probably won't have an easier goal than that all season long.
Absolutely not, but he's, been doing a great job of that, just going to the net here. And yeah, I don't think he actually really got that shot animation on, just kind of tapped in off of his skate or stick. Hard to say from those two angles. I'm sure we're going to look at the end of this one, but what a performance by Frölunda. 16 registered shots. This is the kind of response that we expected to see out of them after a game where they cannot be happy with losing. They didn't necessarily get tilted, probably to reset themselves, and decided to come out and absolutely dominate a game. And well, they've really kind of done that in this one. That save by Saprix, I mean, it could have been uglier. He's had to, make some top saves. I mean, he's faced 16 shots. He's allowed 4, sure, but still facing 16 shots on net. And we still have an extra period to go. This is a determined and hungry Frölunda team in GOONS that simply wasn't ready for it.
Third period underway in our final game of this broadcast. If GOONS can complete another comeback, playmaker through, big save again by Saprix. And we could be looking at a Colorado-Nashville-esque situation. Thankfully, Saprix not playing like Dave Riddick, making some big saves here.
Oh, yeah, those two on the breakaway here. Again, you think about those, it could easily be 6-1. So Saprix doing his part, but GOONS got to give him some help, not just on defense, but maybe a bit more goal support.
Zaki, Flyer Kungen, that one deflects at the last moment. Good D-to-D work. Potzloff shot and another stop. Zaki recovers in the corner, back down low for Playmaker. Goes back to the point. Just you wait with bated breath to see what Playmaker's going to do when he has space below the goal line. There's the Leitinen. Orkes Katalo, Kirketzi's shot denied. Return to sender as Flyer Kungen for Eki, and a 2-on-1 developing. Eki, Playmaker, good save again. Saprix, what a performance. And despite the 4 goals allowed, he has been on point to stop this from being a rout.
Yeah, he's just absolutely embattled in the crease right there, under siege constantly and sharp on his toes, making key saves here. Is again, another GOONS counterattack goes by the wayside, and here come Frölunda.
Defense there to snuff that one out on this occasion. Finger back for Keskatalo. Another pass intercepted by Potzloff. Can't get the feed as Keskatalo breaks that one up. Right there again, Frölunda in possession. Playmaker. Been offside, and this pace right now, Sin, the style of game that we're seeing is certainly benefiting the team with a 3-goal lead.
Oh, absolutely. Here's yet another turnover forced, and Loimu, what a quick pass to Playmaker.
Has it again below the goal line. Half expecting him to try to break out of Michigan. One-timer block. Keskatalo, and it's going to be another own goal. Loimu will get credit for this one. It's 5-1.
Yeah, this is getting a bit ugly here on the side of GOONS, and but this pushback from Frölunda has been absolutely massive. They're not happy with that first game performance here, and they're trying to make up for it in this game, but they try to get Flyer Kungen his 4th there with the one-time pass.
Flyer Kungen now up to 12 goals on the season. In his 18th game with his new club. A shot and a good glove save by Kape. Saw that one through the traffic.
And he hasn't faced a whole lot of shots so far in this one, but he's had to stay sharp throughout the entirety of this game. I mean, just 5 registered shots for GOONS, whereas Frölunda are almost approaching 20. That's almost 4 times as many shots.
Another save there for Kape, padding the stats a little bit. At this point for GOONS, tough call to what to go for. Obviously, you want to score some goals. This one might be out of reach. 7.5 minutes to go and down by 4. As we always talk about, though, goal differential, we can see has been extremely important in the past. So keep that pressure on while staying defensively responsible, because Frölunda is not going to let their foot off the gas.
No, absolutely, especially not after that first game performance. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. There's an in-tight chance from Flyer Kungen, not able to capitalize on. But yeah, the goal differential is so important, and GOONS have never really had a tremendous goal differential.
Chop fails, but it's won back again by Playmaker. Flyer Kungen draws the trip for Frölunda to the power play.
See if they're the teams are going to be able to make it 4 for 4 for both of them. Again, Frölunda so far 2 for 2 on the power play. Goons 1 for 1. Frölunda getting their third opportunity here, and you know they're going to be looking to capitalize on this one.
And they have been successful here in the game today. Flyer Kungan denied. Has another chance now, and it's poked away at the last moment by Wenger. Two great looks for Flyer Kungan. Playmaker. Flyer Kungan intercepts the pass. I think it was meant for Eki. One-timer. Puck bouncing around. Finds its way out to Piku Roger. Into space. Shot. Saved by Kape. Tried to move into the middle. It'll be Frölunda down the other way. 3 minutes to go. Loimu looking. Shot just missed on that short side. Playmaker wanted Flyer Kungan in front. Doesn't go. And another delayed call here. So right as they get a man out, someone else will look to replace him.
Yep, that's going to be Piku Roger headed to it as Eki was cutting across. He just got that stick right in on its feet. Hard to argue with that one. And, well, they do kill it off, so the perfect power play for these teams does not continue, but another opportunity for Frölunda here, and that's just should spell the end for Goons here with just 2 minutes left.
You get 4 goals shorthanded. I'm buying everybody on Goons dinner.
Yeah.
I'm make it a little bit more now. Spotsloth scores 6-1 for Frölunda here in the second game between these two teams.
Yeah, Potslav going down low. Everyone just trying to get in on the scoring sheet right here. It's a nice little play by him. Rushes in kind of, from where he was positioned on the point, and just another great bit of work from Frölunda capitalizing on their power play opportunity, boosting stats, boosting percentages, and really kind of sending a message here, I'd say, that they're better than that first game where they blew that 2-goal lead and lost in regulation to Goons here. And, well, a 6-1 decision in the second game definitely kind of shows that.
Saved by Kape and a better block on the follow-up attempt. We hit the final minute of the play here. A tremendous way, if you are a member or a fan of Frölunda, to cap off this broadcast. Playmaker blocked! And an injury for Flyer Kungan in the process, and
it's probably being told he deserves it.
Yeah, the only thing that might hurt worse than the injury itself is the shame that comes along with it. You're trying the short side. Point blank slap shot. Eki scores from below the goal line. I'm sorry to that fan. He's taken. It's 7-1. And Sin, the problem is, again, had Supreeks not had such a strong game, this honestly, it could have been 12.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what was it, 2 or 3 breakaway saves essentially, and then there's Flyer Kungan out there sometimes thinking he's back in a Hava uniform, intercepting a pass directed to Eki, blocking a playmaker's shot. Yeah, I think it absolutely could have been a little bit worse.
Oh goodness, we march on. 7-1 the score here. We said Frölunda wouldn't take their foot off the gas. That was an understatement as Eki flips it out. And that's the problem, when Frölunda are able to kind of play this style of almost just messing around and having fun. They're even more dangerous.
Yeah.
Not that it's an unconcentrated effort at that stage, but you just almost have the feeling of like they're so good and good enough that they can get away with like, oh yeah, I'm going to do a spin move below the goal line and throw it in front and we'll see what happens. Oh, hey, it went in. As that will do it. 7-1 the final score. Again, it was a 2-0 lead in game 1 for Frölunda. Goons came back to win it 3-2. No comeback on this one. Then again, it was 2-0 Frölunda. Goons got one back. 5 unanswered goals from there for Frölunda. And Playmaker a huge part of that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the point totals from these guys have to be absolutely insane. It was this one that ends up being the game winner because as that second goal is just that beautiful job by Playmaker to kind of take that shot onto that far side, something that he loves to do when he's streaking down from that left wing side here. But that was an absolute spanking from Frölunda here in Goons. Maybe getting a little bit humbled after coming back after that first one, winning 3-2, feeling good about themselves, picking up a big 2 points. They still get to keep those 2 points, but maybe the pride hurt just a little bit in this second matchup where Frölunda storms back and just absolutely demolishes them. And like you said, could have been so much worse had Saprix not been playing as good as he was there. A couple own goals, a couple weird bounces here and there, but he made 3 breakaway saves. It's just Frölunda was a relentless attacking force in this one, and Goons simply could not keep up with it. So you see there, Playmaker 5 points, Flyer Kungen with 4, Eki had 6 points in on almost all the goals, 24 shots to 7. Frölunda had as many goals as Goons had shots. That is just an exceptional performance coming out from Frölunda there.
Bless Flyer Kungen for going into the replays.
Yes.
Granted, there's a couple of own goals that I don't believe will show up, but I would not have blamed him if he just said, hey, we're out.
Yeah.
It's too many to recap. I wouldn't have blamed him on this instance, but you got to look there at I believe that was the opening goal.
The second one, yeah.
Oh, it was the back in the first period, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the first one was an own goal, I believe.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep. Okay, see, there you go. Case in point that it doesn't show up. But Playmaker, I mean, you see him as the catalyst on the vast majority of these goals.
Yeah, he's just such a force down that left wing side. And he's so good with the puck. Indeed, that's not even a shot animation, just incidental contact off Flyer Kungen's stick right there to knock that one in the net. And unfortunately, he's not going to take a look at some of the plays where he completely intercepted a puck directed towards Eki or a shot from Playmaker. Well, because they won't be able to find him in the action tracker. And that's just such a sick play from Eki. I know he's going for the guy out in front, but banking it off the skate of Saprix right there is still so sick. And he had a 6-point night. Again, mostly assists. But we talked about in the pregame, Eki's not really on the pace that we expect him to be on. Well, a 6-point performance, Doogie. Yeah, you're going to shut up now, aren't you?
Well, that's I said what I said about our ability to curse teams. Yep. Tonight was another fine example of that, was it not?
Absolutely.
Tremendously done. And again, I apologize to them in advance, and I will apologize to them again, to the players of Goons. I am quite sorry. Sin, that said, what a way to end a 4th week here for our spring season in the Elite Division. Again, we want to remind everybody, not only, of course, sportsgamer.gg for all the info that you need, but, of course, this Sunday, Sid and I will be back covering more as we kick off Week 5, again, 17:45 CEST. It is Yippee Vaskala and Sawo Esports, H-Reds, and Färjestad as well. And again, 2 more monumental and rather important matchups as H-Reds a tremendous opportunity now to run away with essentially another regular season title. Now that, again, Frölunda dropped points in the matchup today.
Yeah, and that's, huge opportunity for H-Reds. Tough matchup against Färjestad, who's definitely, looking to be one of those kind of top teams and have made the lineup changes to have the potential to do that. Slower start for them, but if they could take a game off of H-Reds or just, again, show some more holes in that armor, give so much more opportunity for someone to be able to kick H-Reds off of that mountain where they've won the, back-to-back championships and are looking for their 3rd in a row, which would give them the automatic grand final finish and would undisputedly make them the best team in Europe and very, very arguably the best Sixes team in the world.
With that, everybody, we will call it quits for today and for this week. Again, we thank you very much for joining us here. One more time, of course, sportsgamer.gg. And remember, of course, Twitter and Instagram for NHL 22 clips of the best and the worst. Use the hashtag eHockeyMoments. We will be back again this Sunday. Big shout out to those behind the scenes that help make a broadcast like this possible. And we will see you guys next week as we continue on Week 5, the season. Already getting to that point in time where all of a sudden, Sin, that breathing room for some of these teams, it's disappearing rather quickly. We'll talk more about it, of course, heading into Sunday. Until then, have a good one. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you soon.